Hello, and I think we're live. Yes. How is everyone today? Welcome to another live stream with the IELTS Grind. So it's me today, Phil, and we have a very special live stream for you guys. We will be doing some mock IELTS speaking exams. So it's quite simple. All you have to do is, if we come to the video, today's video, let's have a look at this. Let's get to the right place. Yeah, so if we come to today's video, you should be able to see in the live chat, we have the details of the Zoom. Okay, so I will start a Zoom meeting very soon, and then we will jump in and do some live speaking tests. So the plan today is to do maybe 2 to 3 full speaking tests, and then if we have more people, I will definitely do some part speaking tests and practice as I did last week. So I will start that meeting soon, and what I will do, depending on who is here, I will try and prioritize people that haven't done it already. But if we only have people that joined me last week, then we can of course do that. So if you're joining us for the first time, what's this all about? So here at the IELTS Grind, we are doing live streams every single day this month, and you can almost take a daily course with us. We're planning that. If you want to know when we're live, come to the IELTSgrind.com and click on the live stream schedule, and what you should see, if it loads, is down here you have the table of our schedule. So today is Friday, it's 8 p.m. in Taiwan, that's where we're based, and it's me, Phil. We're doing a mock speaking exam. So you can see tomorrow Michael is doing a group speaking class, and we're going to stream a full mock exam, listening, reading, writing and speaking, so you can practice on Sunday. So all of that is on our website. And the other thing is, if I come to the video, when you're watching the video, make sure you click live. This will bring you to the live part, so you're watching it at the same time as I'm talking. And if at any point during the video you think it's useful, give us a like, because that helps us spread the message. Okay, so I will start my Zoom call in just a moment, and we will see who wants to talk to me first. So if you're joining, say hello in the live chat, tell me if you would like to talk to me, and we'll get the first 3 people will do the full test, and then after that I would dedicate some time to as many people as want to have a speaking test, and we will do at least part of it. So let me start the call. Okay. So today's speaking exam, there will be some parts to do with technology. So you can expect your part 2 of today to be about technology, and there will be questions in part 1 and part 3 about technology. Now, this wouldn't happen in the real exam. You wouldn't have so much about technology, but this week our topic of vocabulary, our topic is technology. So I've tried to give you more questions so you can practice what you learnt with Michael on Monday. If you didn't see that video, you can jump, where are all the videos go? You can go into our videos and So day 8 of the course was Michael doing vocabulary about technology. So you can make sure you watch that. Okay, so let's see who we've got. I can see 2 people are waiting. So let's see if we can get this to work. Okay. So let's see if we can hear each other. So we've got someone connecting. So let's see if we can hear each other. So we've got someone connecting. So I can hear myself.
Hello.
Hello. Is it possible for you to turn down the YouTube?
Hello.
Otherwise, we're having echoes.
Yes. Sorry about that.
That's okay, not a problem. So, how about you just introduce yourself? What is your name and which country are you calling from? How about you just...
Okay. It's me, right?
Yeah, it's you.
Okay. My name is Pai Furong, but you can just call me Sarah. It's easier for you guys.
Sarah, okay.
And I'm in Taipei, the same city as you are.
Oh, you're in Taipei. Lovely. I know it well. I haven't been to Taipei for a while because of the lockdown, though. I've been stuck in Taoyuan for a while. Okay. Excellent. So, are you ready? Shall we do a practice speaking test? Yes, that's a yes.
Yeah, I think so. I'm really not sure about technology.
That's okay. It doesn't matter. Okay. Just remember, this is just an exam to practice speaking. You don't have to have the right information. You don't have to be an expert. You just have to talk about what you think, what you know. It's just a way of getting you to talk, basically. Okay, so Sarah, if you're ready, let's launch it. Okay. So I will read the questions.
Oh, sorry, is that okay? I turn off the video. Is that okay?
Yeah, so I will be telling you the questions anyway. So as long as you can hear me, that should be fine. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, should we do it? Right, so we'll jump straight into part 1.
Okay.
So let's begin. Well, not talking about your hometown, I don't think. Just a second. Let me double check I got the right exam up.
Do I have to check the live stream at the same time or no?
No. It's okay.
Okay.
Let's try this one instead. Okay, let's try this one instead. This will work. Okay, let's start again. Okay. So all you have to do, just listen to me and give your answer. I will give you some feedback at the end. Okay, Sarah, so let's do it. Okay, let's begin by talking about your studies. Okay. What are you studying?
Actually, I'm not a student anymore. I work full-time.
Okay,
and I am a professional pet groomer.
Oh, okay. So, for this practice, let's pretend that you are a student and just talk about, when you were a student, because I don't have any questions prepared for jobs for today. In the real exam, they would ask you, okay? But if you don't mind, let's pretend that you are a student, okay? So let me ask you the same question. So what are you studying?
I study architecture designer.
Okay.
In Yunlin University.
And why did you choose your school subjects?
Did you say why?
Why did you choose your school subjects?
Actually, I'm not very into that, but it was my parents. They help me. They help me. I can study this topic and probably help in their business in the future.
Okay. What is the best thing about studying in your country?
You mean the best topic?
What is the best thing? The what do people enjoy the most about studying in Taiwan?
Enjoying the most? I'm not really sure, but I think in Taiwan, the atmosphere in any school it's really fun. I
Okay.
think so. Like you study in very how to say open-minded atmosphere in the school.
Yeah. Do you have the trash
Sorry,
car?
I know the background is a little bit.
Yeah. Is that
It's just trash.
the trash truck?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For anyone
So it's
that
that
is
kind.
listening and they don't live in Taiwan, this is really amazing. Every night they have these trash or rubbish trucks that drive around and they play classical music songs. And the people, we go outside and we throw our rubbish into it. It's the system we
Yes.
have in Taiwan. When I first moved, it really confused me. I didn't know what the sound was for months. Okay.
Yeah. So sorry about the noise.
No, it's fine. I have them too here. Okay. Next question. Is there anything that could be improved in your school?
In my school, I think. Oh, I got really big campus. It's nothing to complain about it. I would say if we can have more like special event, then we can have a little connect with the local community. That would be really great, because I think most of event just for students, and we don't really have the chance to connect with the local people. I think if we can get more chance, that would be great.
Okay, great. Okay, let's move on. Okay, I'd like to ask you about trousers. So I'm from the UK. I say trousers. You might know the word pants. Okay, so I'd like to ask you about trousers. Okay,
Okay.
do you like trousers?
Well, I can take it or leave it. Like, it's not really special for me. I tend to wear like short pants, so not really the long pants, because obviously it's too hot in Taiwan at the moment. And for winter time, I wear leggings more, because just more flexible than trousers. Does that make sense?
In which situations are trousers useful?
Useful. I think when I go, I don't know. I don't really wear them, so really have no idea.
Okay.
Probably just very casual occasion.
Okay. So in which situations shouldn't you wear trousers?
You mean should or shouldn't?
In which situations shouldn't you wear trousers?
Probably formal situation. Like if I go to an interview, I don't think I will wear trousers.
Okay, so let's jump on to the next part. Yep, cool. So I would like you to describe a piece of technology that has changed the world. You're going to have to talk about this for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you start talking, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say. And during this time, you can make notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So that's what the examiner will say. So I'm going to give you 1 minute to think about this. Now, can you see on YouTube, can you see the screen or not?
Do I have to check the YouTube now?
If you can see this, it might help you. If you can't, I can read it to you
Okay,
again.
okay. Let me see.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
see it. Okay. Cool. Right. So
Speak to me live, right?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. So on screen, hopefully you can see it says brainstorming.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So I'm going to give you a minute to think about what you want to say, and then afterwards, I'm going to ask you to start speaking. Okay. So hopefully this will work. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So just before we start, if anyone's waiting,
1 minute already.
yeah. So just before we
Oh
start,
no.
if anyone's waiting to have a mock speaking class with me, I'm only speaking to one student at a time, and when it's your turn, I will take you from the waiting room into the meeting. Okay. So just if you want to have a speaking test with me, just wait in the waiting room and I will find you. Okay, so for Sarah, let's move on.
Yep.
And I'm going to give you 2 minutes on the clock, and I would like you to describe a piece of technology that has changed the world. Okay, ready, steady, and go.
Okay. I'm going to talk about a piece of technology that changed the world. And the first thing comes up to my mind is the computer for sure. But I don't know when it's actually first invented. I think like decades ago, probably. But I think it definitely like have a significant change to the world because it's not just people use in daily basics, like not just we use at work, but also for entertaining as well. Like for example, computers allow us to work remotely. Like more and more people can work from home nowadays, especially during this pandemic. Like I think it's very useful to have a computer and allow you still work and get some income, kind of things. And then for entertainment, I think it's not just we can watch videos, we can play video games, but also computer also offer us how to say a good way to communicate with others. For example, we can use social media to post our thoughts and to observe the other people's life, to keep in touch with each other by email or instant messaging or just text. I think computer is one of the greatest invention of the world
Okay,
nowadays.
thank you. So, how many computers do you own?
I would say 2.
2. Okay, excellent.
I used to have 3, but one of them is already like a little bit outdated. I don't really use anymore. So nowadays I can say only 2.
Okay. Right. So we were talking about a piece of technology. Let's now talk about technology in general. Your favorite topic.
Oh.
What are some of the main uses of technology for businesses?
For business, technology. Let me think about it. I think you say computer doesn't count.
Anything you want. Technology for
Okay.
businesses.
Okay. I think more and more factory they use robot or machine to replace the real employees because they can get things done more quickly, and they don't really need to take a day off or something. They can just work 24/7. So I think that's one of the biggest thing I can think about it.
Okay. Do you agree that some businesses wouldn't exist without certain types of technology?
Wouldn't exist without certain type of technology.
So do you agree that some businesses wouldn't exist without certain types of technology?
Well, I'm not really sure. I cannot think about anything wouldn't exist with certain type of technology.
So before we were talking about companies that have robots to help them with tasks. So are there any companies now that wouldn't be companies without robots? Or would these companies still exist even without the robots?
I think if we don't have technology, we might don't have online shop. But if you mean all the shops will close, and I don't think that will happen because we still have physical shops, just not online. But if we're just selling the stuff online, probably they will disappear if we don't have any access to technology.
Okay. What differences are there between the attitudes of older and younger people to technology used for some businesses?
Used for some business. I think. Oh, but you say for some business.
Yeah. So what differences are there between the attitudes of older and younger people to technology used by some businesses?
I would say younger people more able to navigate the technology when they have to use for their business, because older people just seems not that good to control the technology.
And so do you think that in your country older people are able to use things like e-commerce stores, Momo or PC Home, for example?
Well, I'm not really sure about others, but my mom, I don't think she can really learn how to use this kind of thing, because she always says it's too complicated to learn the new things, especially the technology rate develop and change really rapidly. So she just can really cope with it. But I'm not really sure about the others.
Okay, excellent. So thank you. That is the end of the speaking test. Okay, how do you feel?
I feel I screw up.
No, but it's all about practice, right? This is why we're here. Okay, so yeah, I think you did well.
My brain was like totally blank
Yeah.
when it comes to technology.
That's it. That's it. So that really shows you that what you want to do is have a look at as many of the past exam papers as you can to get an idea of common topics, because a lot of the topics that come up in new exams have been used before, you know, maybe 10 years ago, but they've been used before. And so what you need to do is just to get familiar with technology. So a lot of these questions, it's up to you to interpret what they mean. So if we look at a couple of the questions, so I asked you, do you agree that some businesses wouldn't exist without certain types of technology? And you spoke about e-commerce. That's absolutely fine. I could also talk about, I don't know, aviation, aeroplanes. You know, they wouldn't exist if the aeroplane hadn't been invented. I could talk about manufacturing cars. So it's down to you as a student to interpret the question in any way that you want. Okay? So you can at home say, okay, if it's about technology, this is what I'm going to talk about, or here are some ideas. And you prepare in that way. So we're not expecting you to be an expert on everything, but you can do a little bit of preparation. But I think you were doing fine throughout. You were saying, you know, I don't really know, but this is what I think. That's perfectly fine. That's what you need to do. So throughout, I heard some excellent phrases. So things like some good vocabulary. I like the phrase, I can take it or leave it. That was very well used in the right situation. To work remotely, this is great. And for everyone that was listening, Sarah did something that was very, very important. And it makes me think that you know Michael, because he teaches his students this. So what Sarah did was she used the phrase to work remotely, which is kind of, it is a high level phrase. And then afterwards she paraphrased. She told me what it meant. She said, you know, working from home. And that's a really good skill. So if you ever use high level vocabulary, you've got to prove to the examiner that you know what it means. And that was excellent what you did. Very well done.
I was just trying to make my sentence longer.
Yeah, well, that's good. Paraphrasing is a way to do that. So that's great if you did it naturally. What else? Yeah, I like the way you said leggings. That's good vocabulary. So the thing I would say, so a couple of things you can work on. Firstly, in terms of pronunciation. So in Mandarin, in Chinese, you don't have the sound for th. You don't have the th or the th sound. So quite often with Chinese speakers, instead of saying they, you'll say lay. So l instead of the. So, and also with the th sound in think, thought, quite often it becomes a s sound. So it becomes sink or salt. And the issue is, by changing the pronunciation, you're actually saying different words. So lay as in to lie down, sink as in to go to the bottom of the ocean, salt as in to either arrange things or to seek something. So this is something, it's purely mechanical. You've got to teach the muscles in your mouth to do this. So my advice to my students is go to YouTube, type in TH sound in English and just learn it. It's, if you can teach yourself that, it will help you. The other thing I would say is you should try and learn more than one phrase for I'm not really sure. Because if you have to rely on it, you want to have a few different phrases, otherwise it becomes repetitive. That's
Okay.
something to work on. And the other thing, just generally, in terms of grammar, you just want to be a little bit more accurate here and there. So sometimes your subject and your verb do not agree. For example, we might say, I think you said something like it have instead of it has. So little things like this. So a way to do that is, for example, with this video, if you watch it back when it goes on the YouTube channel after we finish, just listen to what you say, and you can write down, oh, did I make a mistake there? You know, how could I improve that? If you record yourself when you're speaking and listen back, you'll spot a lot of your errors, and then you just concentrate on them. Everybody has their own mistakes. No two students make the same mistakes. So just concentrate on yours. And for example, pronunciation of technology, occasionally when it was the object in the sentence, you were getting the pronunciation a little bit wrong. But yeah, listen back to what you're doing. But overall, I think that was really good. Excellent. You seemed very comfortable with part 1. Part 2 was good. No real problems. Perhaps part 3, because of the topic, you need to do a little bit of preparation, perhaps.
Yes.
And that will help you. So just from that, in my opinion, you'd probably get a band 6 to 7, somewhere between that, possibly closer to 6 than to 7. But obviously, if you practice, you can push up your score. Okay. Do you have any questions, Sarah? Anything?
Not really.
No? You happy with that?
But I can keep like listen to others, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So what I will do now is I'll say goodbye to you in Zoom. You can join us back in the speaking
live chat?
in the live chat, and so I'm gonna jump in and find somebody else. So thank you, Sarah, for being first.
Thank you so much.
And we'll talk to you again soon.
I was super nervous.
No, you did very well. Well done. Okay, so I'll say goodbye and talk to you another time. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, guys. So how are we doing in the chat? I will choose another victim very soon, and then a victim, and then we will carry on. So it looks like I've got 6 people waiting. Okay. So what I'll do is 2 of you, I think, we will do the full 15 minutes, 14 to 15 minutes, or whatever it is, 11 to 14 minutes. And then for everyone else, we'll do parts of it, okay? So I'm just looking, see if I recognize anyone from last week, because I would like to give new people an opportunity to do the full exam, okay? So let's see. Yeah, so I will talk to everyone. Don't worry, I will talk to everyone, but some people I will talk to a little bit longer. Okay, so let me jump and do a second one. Okay, let's see what I did there. Okay, I'm just checking what I did. Okay, that's okay. Right, so let's choose the next person. So hopefully we can connect. Okay, so when you can hear me, just say hello. Tell me your name.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, I think I can hear you. So just tell everyone, what is your name and which country are you calling from?
My full name is Muhammad Zawil Kiram. I am originally from Indonesia, but currently I am living in Turkey.
Oh, in Turkey. And can I call you Mohammed?
Oh, please call me Will.
Will? Okay,
yeah,
Will.
It's so much easier.
Okay,
Will.
Okay, excellent. Well, my name's Phil, if you didn't know. So what we'll do is we'll do a practice test together. Now, for this one, because of the questions, I'm going to ask you to pretend that you are working. If you don't have a job, I'm going to ask you to pretend you've got your dream job, okay? So just for the questions. So just pretend that you're talking about your dream job as if it's your real job. Okay, so let's do it. I'll just put my timer on so we can keep the right time. Right, so Will, let's begin by talking about your job. What do you do?
Currently, I started a new position at university. I was a research assistant, but at the moment I'm working as a senior lecturer at university, at Marmara University, I can say, which is in sociology department. So my responsibilities are like teaching, also preparing seminar for students, and also related to student supervisor.
Okay. Why did you choose this type of job?
Well, to be honest with you, I've always wanted to be a lecturer since I was an undergraduate student, because I am really passionate about teaching and also anything that related to academic. I really enjoy like reading books or writing articles, and I feel like this is something in me, and I want to do this job because I think this is what I really want to do.
What are the most interesting tasks you have to do? Oh, I got a typo there. Oh, sorry. Typo in my thing. I'll ask you that again.
Okay.
What are the most interesting tasks you have to do?
I can say that the most interesting or the most challenging responsibility that I have is preparing classes for students, because sometimes during the week you can have a full week lessons, and then you have to prepare each lesson really well for every day, and sometimes it takes really a long time to get ready and get really good materials and have a good presentation for the students.
Do you like your co-workers?
Oh yes, I do. I really love them actually, because they are really supportive, and there are so many people in my department who willingly work to collaborate and also to support each other if we have little problems. And I think it is really nice to be able working with them and to have this kind of ideal environment at the workplace.
Okay, I'd like to ask you about emails now.
Okay.
Do you often send emails?
Yes, I do it quite a lot actually, almost every day. In fact, every morning when I'm having my breakfast, I always check my email if there is email from students or also from my workplace, and I always check them in the morning. And usually, if it is really important and urgent email, I will reply them right away. But if it's like something that I could put, and then I will reply them later.
What are some ways emails are used by people on a daily basis?
I'm sorry, could you please?
Yeah. What are some ways emails are used by people on a daily basis?
I'm not really sure how to answer this question. but I think they use it for communication and also to send the information or to inquire the information. But I'm not sure most people still use email for daily basis because usually they send it via WhatsApp or just a short message. But because most of the time we use email in academic or related to business.
Okay. So how have emails changed the way you live your life?
I can say that emails has made my life so much easier in terms of communication because usually I don't have to talk to the person face to face, or I don't have to travel to them to their places and talk about our the things that we want to do together, for example. And it has helped me a lot, I can say, and it makes my life so much easier because I can send the email from my home, from my office, to many students and also to many people, as many as I want.
Okay, great. So let's jump to part 2.
Okay.
Okay, so I would like you to describe a piece of technology that has recently been invented. You're going to have to talk about this for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you start speaking, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you want to say, and during this time, you can make notes if you want. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes,
Okay. So, can you see the screen on the YouTube? If not, I can read the prompt to you.
Yes, I can see it now.
You can see it. Okay, excellent. So, I'm going to give you that 1 minute preparation time, and then after that, you're going to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, ready?
Okay.
Go.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so Will, I would like you to start speaking now, please.
Okay, thank you very much. Today I would like to describe a technology that has been invented not quite a long time ago. And I'm not really sure if we can say this as a completely 100% of new technology, because I think this idea has been there for quite a long time. But they released this kind of technology like this recent years, and it is an electric car which was introduced in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I can't really remember the exact year it is. And I think the most popular one is Tesla car. I'm not really sure, but I think it is the electric car that has been introduced by Elon Musk recently. And I think that is the most recent technology that we have seen nowadays. And usually what we can do with it is, like most of the cars, we can travel to our destinations, like commute to our work, or even to our studying places like to the university or anywhere that we want to go, it will be so much easier to travel with this car. And in terms of how often we use it, I can say that it's like a daily basis. If we are traveling quite often, or if we work from a little bit far away from our home, for example, then we will use it every day by daily basis. And in my opinion, it has a positive impact on
Okay, thank
society.
you. So, do you currently own a Tesla car?
No, unfortunately,
Okay.
maybe in the future.
Okay. So we were talking about a piece of technology. So let's talk about technology in general.
Okay.
Who should develop new technology? Governments or private businesses?
In my opinion, both government and private organization could work together to invent new technology, because there is no such responsibility who have to make new advancement, for example, because sometimes the people who work in private organization has the idea on what kind of technology that we should use in the future, but they don't have enough fund to support their project. And in this case, I think the government could give the hand and support their project and collaborate to invent this kind of technology.
Okay. So, what has been the most influential piece of technology in the last century?
I can say it is definitely internet, and also what can say social media maybe, because without internet, and we cannot live in today's life. It has a really huge role in our society, and I can say that every single activities that we are currently doing depends on the internet.
Okay,
And
so you mentioned the internet as the major technology that's changed lives. Has it always been beneficial to society?
from my point of view, yes, it has been always has been always a positive impact for society, because especially in terms of getting information, and also in terms of communicating with others. And in this case, we haven't been we haven't got any kind of this before, and this is really huge improvement.
Okay, in 1902, Holland S. Jewell said, "Everything that can be invented has been invented." Why was he wrong?
I think just like most scientists, they give the argument based on their hypothesis, and in my opinion, the hypothesis could be wrong, because science is not always an absolute result. They usually make the predictions based on their knowledge and also based on their observation. But in most cases, this observation and a hypothesis could lead to the wrong argument, in my opinion.
So, what do you think will be the next major invention in our time?
I have been thinking about time travel, and also to like spaceship, and like for people to be able to have the holiday to the space. I have been listening to this kind of news for quite a long time, and I think in the future we will see this kind of technology will be in reality.
Okay, thank you, Will. That is the end of the speaking test. Okay,
Well,
great.
thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Will. So, how do you feel? Good?
I feel quite nervous, to be honest with you,
Yeah, I mean,
and
everyone feels nervous. This is why we practice. If you can do it with
Yeah.
me, you can do it with anyone. It's fine. Okay,
Thank you.
that's good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so overall, I think you seem very comfortable talking about the familiar topics, part 1, part 2, even the unfamiliar topics. I tried to give you a few difficult questions there to really push you, and you seemed fine. Overall, I think in terms of sort of fluency and coherence and all that sort of thing, I had no problem understanding you at any point. You're using a lot of good vocabulary and in the right way. And in terms of grammar, for the most part, not many mistakes at all. The only things that I could pick up were probably pronunciation errors.
Okay.
So, yeah, I liked the thing I liked in particular was that how you sidestepped a few questions. I'm not really sure how to answer this question, but that's really good.
Okay.
Yeah. So, just to give you an example of things you can work on in terms of pronunciation. So let's take the guy behind Tesla. Okay. So when you said his name, I heard Elon Musk. So Elon.
Yeah.
But in the English pronunciation, Elon. So
Elon.
so what you want to do is really just practice with the vowel sounds of English. Get really confident with how we pronounce vowels. So Elon Musk is a good example because Elon. So Elon sounds like a different person's name, right? And this is the key to pronunciation. It's really the vowel sounds. That will help you. And the other thing, occasionally in words like, so you were using the expression in terms of this, but I wasn't hearing the S. So it was in term of this. And we're talking about how governments and businesses can work together. And we're talking about funds, but I heard fun instead of funds. So the D sound, although it's not a really stressed letter in that word, it's still present. But these are not grammar mistakes. These are pronunciation mistakes. So you don't really hear them when we say them in English, so you're not using them. But this is something to work on. But yeah, so the only thing I could say is work on your pronunciation, listen to lots of native level TV, and try and mimic the native speakers. And this will give you the intonation, the rhythm of English, and hopefully fix some of those errors. So I would say you're probably a band 7 to 8, but I would be surprised if you didn't get an 8. It would be a bad day if you didn't get an 8 for that performance. But it's 7 to 8, strongly an 8, I would say. But there are a few things to work on just to push you a little bit further.
Okay, thank you.
But in terms of the content, the grammar, the vocabulary, I think that's very good. Do you have any questions, Will?
Yes, I have a just simple question actually. If I don't, it's like I don't have the idea about what I'm going to say. Like when I get really difficult questions, sometimes I'm like frozen and very confused what to say. Maybe could you please just give me a little advice on how can I cope with this?
Well, I think you were doing it naturally anyway. So what you want to do, there's a difference in hesitation. Lower level students hesitate because they're thinking about how to say something, what word. Higher level and native speakers hesitate because they're thinking of what to say, the content. So all you've got to do is show the examiner that you have understood the question. So when you're saying things like, oh, that's a difficult question, or no one's ever asked me that before, or that's an interesting question. Let me think about it. Phrases like that show the examiner that you've understood the question. You just need time to formulate your answer. The other thing you can do is when you've got a difficult question like that, you can be very broad and very vague when you start your question. So, for example, I think there are many things to consider when talking about who develops technology. And at this time, your brain is working. And then you can go precise. And the main thing is budget. Governments have a smaller budget for this type of thing than big companies. Therefore, I think it falls to the big companies to do it. Do you see how that works?
Yeah.
It's all about giving your brain enough time to work. So don't worry about the answer you give. It doesn't have to be the most interesting answer. Worry about how you connect and support your sentences. That's the important thing for the IELTS. Yeah? But yes, you were doing very well. I didn't feel like you were struggling at all during that. So if you were, well done. Okay.
Thank you very much once again.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much for your time.
So make sure you come back and talk to us again. Well, and
sure.
Yeah, and you can check out our channel. We've got lots of other videos that will probably be helpful. Okay, I will say goodbye to you, and I will grab the next person.
Thank you very much.
Okay, cool. See you later.
Have
Bye.
a great day.
You too. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay. So hopefully I think I've got at least one more full speaking test. Hopefully, yeah. Okay. This one should be okay. Right, so what I will do is I will choose one more victim to do the entire test, and then after that, for you very patient people that are waiting to talk to me, I will talk to everybody and we will do part of the test, okay? So one more person will do the full test, and then I will talk to everyone who is waiting. So what I will do is probably talk to someone that I haven't spoken to yet for the full test, and then everyone else I will get to you in a moment. So just be a little bit patient if you're waiting, and I'll get to everybody, I promise. So I see 7 people waiting, and I will talk to everyone. I'm not going anywhere. It's Friday evening. I'm married. I don't have a social life. Don't worry, I'm going to talk to you. Okay, so just going to see if there's anyone I don't recognize. Okay, so let's see who joins me. Okay, looks like we have someone joining me.
Hello?
Hello, you can hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so can you just tell us your name and which country you're calling from?
I'm Savita Shrestha, and I'm from Nepal.
Okay, so how do I pronounce your name? Sabita, is that close enough?
Yes.
Okay, I'm terrible with names. I do apologize. Okay, so Sabita, if you're ready, we will go through and do a mock speaking test. So let me just get my timer, and we'll do it. Okay, so you can hear me okay?
Yes,
okay.
I can.
Excellent. Right, so let's jump into it. So let's begin talking about your hometown. So where are you from?
I'm from Nepal, and from Kathmandu especially, and it is the capital city of Nepal too. There I live in a small village named Thankot in Kathmandu district.
Okay. Is your town a busy place?
If talking about Kathmandu, then yes, it is the busiest city of my country. But the place where I live, it is outskirts of Kathmandu, so it is quite peaceful.
Is there anything unusual about your hometown?
Yes. It has um, our greatest hill named Chandragiri, which is quite nearby my home. It is about over 4,000 meter. It has 4,000 meter height.
Okay. So, do you live in a beautiful place?
Yes, I think it is beautiful because it is surrounded by hills and greenery, and it has quite clean environment. So yes, it is beautiful.
Okay, so let's talk about movies now. Do you like watching films or movies?
Yes, very much. I'm fond of movies. When I get spare time out of my study and work, then I love to watch movies, especially horror movies.
So I'll jump to the next one. Do you prefer watching films at home or at the cinema?
I would say both of them is my favorite. In home, I love to watch movie alone with my own interest. And while going in cinema, I love to go with my friends and watch some funny movies.
Is it easy to get to a cinema where you live?
Yes, there are several cinema halls, and it's easy, and you can also buy tickets through online. So yes, and the nearest cinema I think is just 10 minutes away from my home.
So let's talk about computers.
Okay.
How much time do you spend using a computer at work or at home?
When I was doing my work, then before the pandemic, I would be must outside of my home. But now, because of pandemic, most of the time I spend in my home. That's why I think 4 or 5 hours in a day I spend in front of computer doing my work from home and watching videos and chatting with friends.
So what do you mainly use a computer for?
I'm also a teacher, so I teach students through online. So I think for my work, I use it more. Apart from that, I use it for my study also.
Okay. Did you learn how to use a computer at school?
No. When I was in school, there was no such subjects of computer science relating to computer. I learned it in different institute and also by myself at home.
Okay. Have you ever taken a course to improve your computer skills?
Yes, just basic level. not more than that. I didn't use graphic and other types of like video editing or Photoshop, but I can use a basic level of computer.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so let's jump to part 2. Okay, so I would like you to describe a piece of technology that you find useful. You're going to have to talk about this for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you start speaking, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you want to say, and during this time you can make notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. And can you see the prompt on the screen? Can you see YouTube at the moment?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so you can read it? Okay, so what I'll do is give you 1 minute to think about what you want to say, starting now.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get the next screen. Right, so I would like you to start speaking now, please.
Well, today I would like to talk about mobile phone, which I find very useful for me. I started using it before 10 years. So in mobile phone, I can use it to chat with friends, to have communication with them, and also with relatives. And then I also watch films, videos in my mobile phone. Sometimes I also use it for my teaching activities. I check my students' assignment and works in mobile. So it helped me a lot during this time. Nowadays, I'm also using it to learn English. I watch in English videos yeah, sometimes I use my mobile phone for fun also. Like I make TikTok videos and I watch it. I also watch comedy shows in it. The next thing, it helped me for online to buy some clothes and
Okay, thank you. So have you used it today?
Yes, I'm very happy because it is helpful.
Okay, excellent. So let's move on. So we were talking about a piece of technology. Let's talk about technology in general. What are some of the main uses of technology for communication?
Sorry?
So what are some of the main uses of technology for communication?
Technology helped a lot to communicate with our people who are far from us. We can do a voice call or video call with technology and with our gadgets. And nowadays it has become more easier, and yes, it is very comfortable to us.
Do you agree that some people use technology for communication too much?
Yes, I think I don't know about others, but I am the person who use technology for communication. Uh, um, I talk a lot in phones, and yes, and people nowadays doing meetings and conference through technology, through online resources like Zoom and Google Meet. So, and also people are doing work from home. Um, so yes.
So you mentioned using platforms like Zoom. Do you think that such platforms benefit society, but do they have drawbacks as well? What do you think? Is it more of a benefit or more of a drawback?
I think it has more benefits than drawbacks, um, because because now people are in their home and they can't go outside because of lockdown and this pandemic. So now people are doing work from home, and they especially being a teacher, such platforms really helped me and students. So I think it has more benefits than disadvantages.
What are the differences? Sorry. What differences are there between the attitudes of older and younger people to technology for communication?
Well, I think now younger people are more tend to use such technologies like Facebook and Zoom or Viber, like that. But older people can find this a little bit difficult. I think because more older people are not educated also, and they are not as much flexible as younger people to learn new things. So younger people will learn about technologies faster than older people.
So you mentioned that the older generation are less educated. Whose responsibility is it to educate this generation about this form of technology?
I think first of all, government should think of that, and government can uh, educate them by some learning processes, by introducing some campaign or some programs for older people, or they can also learn through their own offspring, their own children also. So government and society both can do to make changes about it.
Okay, so thank you. That is the end of the speaking test. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, how do you feel? Good?
Now
Yeah.
I'm feeling good, but it was too much. I was feeling too much nervous.
It's why we practice. The more you practice, the more you'll get used to speaking English, and it'll become much more natural as you practice. Yeah, so good. Overall, I think very, very well done. So I would say in terms of like fluency, you didn't seem to have too much trouble with any of the topics. There was perhaps a little bit of hesitation around sort of part 2. So perhaps doing this 2-minute like kind of monologue, if you practice this a bit more, and you can work on your structure. So we have videos on this channel about how to structure a part 2, but by practicing at home you can find techniques to give you more talking points, and so you're not kind of worried about what do I say next. So that would be the only thing in terms of fluency. You hesitated a little bit there. When it comes to sort of vocabulary, you're giving me a lot of really good high-level vocabulary, but there's also just a few little errors here and there. For example, there's a difference between nearby and near to. So you were talking about the hill, the mountain, and I'm not going to pretend I know what it's called. I think it's going to be a mountain because you said it was 4,000 meters tall. Is that correct?
It is hill.
It's a hill? Really?
Yes.
I think in any other country we would say that's a mountain, but maybe not in Nepal. You have plenty of mountains, right? Okay. Yeah. So the difference is when something is near to you, it's the proximity. So I would say there's a hill near to my house. But you would say, for example, are there any hills nearby? So the way we use near to and nearby are not quite the same. So if you just learn the difference there. So the way you used it, you said nearby, I would say near to. There's a hill near to my house. The only other thing I would say, also work on your prepositions. So I heard in home, and we would say at home. Okay, so it's just little things like this. And what else did I write down? So you were talking about, you said before 10 years. So 10 years ago, I think is what you meant. So just a little phrases like that here and there. But it doesn't stop me understanding what you're saying, which is a good thing, okay? And what else did I write down here? Yeah, so I asked you a question. I don't know if I can find it. It's about computers. What did I use? Let's see if I can find it. Which was the question? It will come to me, don't worry. I asked you how you use computers, I think. Anyway, I can't remember the exact question, but you were trying to give me an answer which it depended. Like now during the pandemic, it's different to how it normally is. So there, you were trying to tell a long story. What you want to do is, in English, we always directly answer the question and then give the supporting details. So I would say, well, before I used it for 5 hours a day, but now it's only 2 hours. This is because, and then you explain. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's because it took us a while to get to your answer, and the coherence, me being able to understand you, it wasn't as strong as if you directly answered the question 5 hours and then gave the reasons. So always trying to do that. Answer the question first and then give your supporting sentences. Yeah. So overall, I would say you're sort of a band 6 to 7, and I would put you closer to a 7. There's a few things you can work on. So one of them is, I always say this, it's pronunciation, but pronunciation is the easiest thing to fix. If you spend a few weeks working on pronunciation, it can push your score up. So I think for people from Nepal, you have a similar pronunciation error, let's say, as people that live in India. So when you say well, you don't pronounce the w sound. It becomes a v sound, vel. So just work on this sound. Now, people have spent a lot of money and a lot of research on learning all the common pronunciation errors and grammar errors that people from different languages make when they speak English. So if you go and Google your mother language and, you know, common mistakes people make when they speak my language, you'll find lots and lots of information about it, okay? So that would be my advice. And as I said to Will before, if you watch lots of English TV, so at least 20 minutes a day, find a series of native speakers, and you can listen to the native actors and try and practice the way that they speak, okay? And this will teach you not the accent, but it will teach you the stress and the rhythm of English. That's what you've got to work on, okay? But overall, very well done. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep working every day, and I think you'll probably be getting to a 7 at least with a little bit of work, yeah? You happy with that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, nothing.
No? Okay, brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining us. Feel free to come back and talk to us again. And I will say goodbye, and I will get someone else from the waiting room. So have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your day. See you later.
Thank you.
Okay, so looking at the comments. Yeah, I don't know. The thing when it comes to examiners is they're all trained in the same way, and the exams that exist, they are all the same. Okay, you may not be taking exactly the same exam as someone else, but they're all made by the same people, and the scores, I don't believe that one country is easier than another country. So here in Taiwan, we got a lot of people coming from China thinking Taiwan is easier to get an IELTS score, but that's just not the case. So everywhere should be marked the same, because there are only the British Council and IDP, and you know they train everyone that is an examiner everywhere in the world. They're all the same. So don't worry, you should be marked the same. So of course, what I'm doing, it's more difficult, okay? The examiner, all they have to do is listen to you and give you a score. What I'm trying to do is give you an estimated score. Of course, what I tell you can't be official. It's not a real exam. But what I'm doing is also trying to listen for your mistakes and trying to give you advice. So I'm trying to do two things at once. So hopefully everyone's finding this useful. Okay, so we've still got people waiting patiently in the waiting room. I know who has been waiting the longest, so let's get her in. So what we'll do now is we're going to jump and do parts of exams. Okay, so let's check if we can hear each other. So is your microphone on? See if you can if we can hear each other. Hello? Oh, I can hear something. There's definitely sound. Are we going to connect?
Hello?
Hello. Okay, so you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so just remind us, what is your name and which country are you calling from? I remember, but tell everyone else.
Yes. My name is Maria in English, and I come from Vietnam.
Yeah, okay. So, Maria, what I'm going to do is we'll practice part of the test with everyone that's waiting now. So, is there a particular part of the exam you would like to practice? Part 1, part 2, or part 3?
I will choose part 3.
Okay.
Please.
Is that the most difficult part? We'll practice the most difficult part. Okay. Let's do that then. Okay. So I'll take it from here. Okay. So, Maria, if you're ready. Do you agree that some businesses wouldn't exist without certain types of technology?
Yes.
Why?
I think in the past, some businesses could exist without certain types of technology, because in this particular time, they maybe they didn't need this technique. So, but in recent years, as the evolution of the world, many technology comes out to help the business to do more easier. So if they do not have this kind of technology, they could hardly to compete with other enemies and enemies companies.
Can you give me a specific example of this? A specific company?
Specific company?
Or
I think-
industry?
I think something like business companies about selling items or something like that, because in COVID-19 pandemic, we have to keep social distancing, so online shopping is really necessary. But if this company doesn't adapt these the things like online shopping system, they could hardly exist anymore.
Okay. What differences are there between the attitudes of older and younger people to technology used by some businesses?
I think there are many big difference between their attitudes, because as I am a student here, I really need the communication of technology, but the older ones don't need it. So I think there is a big gap between these attitudes.
So do you think, so in general, are the younger generations more accepting of new developments?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
Because the younger people are familiar with the technology used by some businesses, but the older one doesn't. The older ones don't use it too much, so I think that.
Okay. Can you compare the way we travel now in our daily lives compared to in your grandparents' time?
Yeah, in the past, in the past, the traveling is limited because of the long distance or something like that. But nowadays, as the technology has developed, we can go anywhere and even overseas in some hours without any trouble. So I think my recent time is more convenient and easier to travel than in the past.
Okay. So, what are the knock-on effects of a society that can travel internationally?
I cannot hear clearly.
Okay. So, what are the knock-on effects to a society that can travel internationally, like easier than when your grandparents were young? So, what are the repercussions, the benefits, let's say?
With the cutting edge technology, we can travel more convenient and faster than in the past. So I think our life here is much more better.
And do you think it has changed the attitudes between different nationalities?
No, I don't think that.
Okay. So let's talk about the countryside. How important is it to preserve our unspoiled rural areas?
It is really significant to preserve our ecosystem in rural areas because the environment is a key factor. It directly impacts our life. So we have to plan to protect and preserve it.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so let me give you some tips and feedback. Okay, so just for everyone listening, don't be afraid. Maria and I, we know each other. We spoke last week, and I was really pushing her. I was trying to push your boundaries. Okay, what the examiner will do in part 3 is they will ask you follow-up questions about what you say, okay? And this is often used to try and, see if you can use different grammar structures, or if you're comfortable with, unfamiliar topics. So I was doing that like 200%. It won't be as difficult as that in the real exam. Okay, so if we go back through the questions, it will jog my memory of what we said. Okay, so I was asking you about some of the main uses of technology for business, and you were talking about platforms. No? I'm pretty sure I asked you that. But anyway, the point is, you were talking about technology that had come out, and you were talking about the past and how it affected the present. If you're talking about that, you want to use present perfect simple, present perfect continuous. So I can't remember the exact phrase you said, but what I've written down is have come out. So it was probably a technology or a platform which has come out. So it was a missed opportunity to use the present perfect. So just remember, if it happened in the past and it has an effect on the present, we want to use the present perfect. He has done this, for example. You were talking about business enemies. We would say competitors. Yeah, competitors. So that would be the best word to use. I understood what you meant when you said enemies, but competitors would be the right one. Okay, so we use the word to adapt. So we adapt to something. So make sure you use the preposition to adapt to something. So I like the way you were using online shopping. Good phrase. You can also use e-commerce so that you don't repeat yourself. You can use it as a synonym, e-commerce. What else did I write down? Oh yeah, when I was asking you about the different generations, you were referring to older ones. So the younger generation, older ones. I would say older people, older generation, because older ones doesn't necessarily mean the older generation. Okay, so just watch out for that. And okay, and what else? Yeah, just watch out for the S's on ends of words. So we mentioned many. You said many difference, many differences. So just watch out for the S. And yeah, the other thing, we were talking about an impact. What do we have? I think we were talking about the environment when you said this. And you spoke about something directly impacting something else. Here, I would have used a relative clause. Yeah. So this which directly impacts the environment. So watch out for that. But overall, I think it's good. Something that you can do to improve your score, and this is for everyone. You notice that when I was asking follow-up questions to Maria, particularly the first question we worked on, I asked for a specific example. Can you give me a specific example of a business? So when you're giving your answers, try to provide specific examples of what you're saying. It's just, don't be too general. Focus on a particular thing within that topic, and it really backs up what you're saying. Okay. So overall, so last week, Maria actually took the full test with me, I think. So we spoke about a score last time and some ideas. But those are just some suggestions for what we spoke about today. So Maria, do you have any questions about that?
No.
No? You're happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so I noticed in the chat, you're saying you're a beginner. It's absolutely fine. Okay. You're here to learn. No one can learn without making mistakes. And if you're not making mistakes, it means that you're not trying. You should be making hundreds of mistakes every day, because that means you're pushing your English level every day. Yeah. So I think you did very, very well, in fact. These are just some notes so you can do even better next week. Okay? So keep going. You're doing very well. Thank you for joining me again. I'm going to put you back into the waiting room, and we will choose another person. Okay? So speak to you another time. Have a good day. Bye. Okay. Cool. Yeah, so Maria did very, very well, I think. It's not easy to come on here. And guys, don't get scared. What I'm doing sometimes is really trying to push you. The examiner won't do that. They'll push you a little bit. What we got to do in our practice is to try and go further than we need to go in the exam. That means the exam will be much easier. Yeah. So that's good. Right. So I would just grab the next person. What I will do is try to talk to everyone. If I can, we'll go for a little bit longer. I'll try and at least talk to everyone that I can see here. Okay. So I'll just choose the next person in the waiting room. Hopefully this works. Let me know when you can hear me. Okay, so it looks like I lost someone. If you join again, you can be next, but I'm going to call the next person. Okay, so hopefully this works. So just let me know when you can hear me. Okay, have you got your microphone? So I think it's Rupinder. I think that's your first name. If you've got your microphone, try and turn it on. And when you're ready, we can go through and look at one of these exams.
Hello?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. So is Rupinder, is that your first name?
Yes, I'm Rupinder.
Okay. And where are you calling from today, Rupinder?
I'm from India.
Okay. So I asked Maria, which part of the test would you like to do? We can do part 1, we can do part 2, or we can do part 3. Which are you having the most difficulty with?
I would choose part 2.
Part 2, okay. Right, so let's do that. So we've seen all the topics already, but you can still do it. So Rupinder, I would like you to describe a piece of technology that you find useful. You will have to talk about this for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you start talking, you will have 1 minute to think about what you'd like to say, and during this time you can make notes if you'd like. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Rupinder, I will give you 1 minute to start thinking now.
Oh.
Okay, so let's jump on the next bit. So, Rupinder, I would like you to start speaking now, please.
Okay. I think technology... Can I start, sir?
Yes, yeah. Let me start again. Are you ready? So let's
Yes, sir.
start. 1, 2, 3, go.
Technology has played a very important role in our life, and there are so many things that based on technology I find them very useful. If I talk about a particular one, then definitely it would be a laptop. Actually, uh, I purchased it last week, and I consider so many things before to buy it. First of all, as I said, it is technology, and I was concerning that what are the features that they develop or they put in this newest version. And after that, I started to using it, and there are so many things that I perform by using a laptop. First of all, I use for surfing internet and just sending emails to my friends or to my relatives, and video conference, especially during a pandemic time where we cannot interact with each other physically or face to face. So laptop plays a major important role in my life. I used it to entertain myself, watch movies, and even play games. So most of the time I spent on my laptop during this COVID pandemic. And as I said, I used 2 to 3 hours on daily basis because I'm preparing for IELTS exam. So I watched daily 1, 2, or 3 videos. Longest video about 1 or 2 hours. How to speak in English very well, and how to uh, learn so many things. And I find it very useful because it's very convenient to use. I can take it can easily fit in my bag, and I can take my bag or take it with myself to anywhere because it's very convenient and it's very easy to handle.
Okay,
And
thank
even
you.
I can use
So what color is your laptop?
my laptop is in black color.
Okay. So what the examiner will do is at the end of part 2, they will either say thank you, or they might say or they will ask you a question. And the question, you gave the right answer. They just want you to say, okay, this is the end of part 2. We're going to go to part 3. So by saying yes, it's a black laptop, that's perfect. Short answer. It's the only question in the IELTS that you should give a short answer to. Okay, so Rupinder, I think in terms of fluency, you're fine. You're happy to talk about that, and you were linking your ideas together well. So, just, I mean, there are a few sort of misuses of grammar here and there. So, just as an example, you were talking about when you were buying your laptop and you had indecision. You said, I was concerning about, which one to get. That is a fact. It's true. It's true now. It's true in the past. It will be true in the future. It won't change. When we're talking about facts, things that are true, we use the present simple, past simple, or future simple. So you would say, I was concerned in that case, yeah? So in that case, yeah, to be concerned as a verb. So that's good. What else did I write? Yeah, just make sure when we're talking about ideas like laptops, when they are sort of general ideas, we would say, laptops are very useful, rather than a laptop is very useful or laptop is very useful. So make sure you say laptops when you're talking about them in general, okay? And the only 2 big tips I can give you, so number 1 is, so it's to do with speed of talking, right? So we don't want students to speak too slowly because that will be considered hesitation. But if you speak too quickly, you're not going to be able to have the right rhythms of English. The way that English sounds and the way we speak it as natives, it's all to do with stress. So within a sentence, we have a certain rhythm of which words are stressed and unstressed and how many. Now, if you go on our channel, so my colleague Michael, he has an excellent video about this. If I search, I think it's called words, or if I just put stress, let me see if I can find this. He's got a real technique about this. So I think this video, what is word stress in English, he uses it in that as well. Oh yeah, in this video, sorry. The secret to sounding like a native in the IELTS exam. English is a stress time language. This is the video. I'm going to put this in the chat, actually. So in this video, Michael explains exactly why we can have the same sentence in English, okay, and add words to it, and it will last exactly the same amount of time. This is the stress time. So what you need to do, Rupinder, is not to be so concerned about speed. So perhaps in your native language, people speak quickly. Is that correct? Is that?
Yes.
Yeah. And so in English, it's not so much about the speed, it's about the rhythm. And this can help you. And the only other thing that I noticed was quite often at the end of your sentences, your intonation went up. So, for example, the most important thing, it would be a laptop in our life. So everything was going up. The only time we have an intonation that goes up is when it's a question. What do you think? Now, you want to try and avoid that. You want to only have the last sound go up when it's a question. But guys, I have to be honest with you. There is one native accent where they do this all the time. In Australia. In Australia, they have an accent where everything goes up at the end. I can't do the accent properly, but so if you're picking that up from Australia, okay. If you're taking your exam in Australia, okay. But I'd imagine if you're taking a test in India, you won't have many Australians. But it's something to work on, okay? So you're telling me the story. You're not asking me the story. So just try and avoid that. But overall, you're incredibly fluent and you're using good vocabulary, and just work on those two things. It will help you, okay?
Okay.
Do you have any questions, Rupinder?
No, sir.
Okay. So thank you for joining us. Hopefully, if you join us again, we'll be able to give you the full test again at some point. But at least we got to talk, okay? I will say. So have a good evening and enjoy your weekend. I'll say goodbye to you. Okay. So, right, I've got 4 people in the chat. So I can see Lynn, Chris, Jackie, and it says iPhone. So what I would do, because it is getting late here, I will talk to everyone and we'll have a few questions with everyone because you guys have been very patient. I'm sorry there's only one of me, but let's grab Lynn, have a few questions, have a bit of a practice. Okay, let me see.
Hi.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So, Lynn, is that your first name?
Yeah, my given name is Lin.
Okay. And where are you calling us from today, Lynn?
I'm from Taipei.
From
Actually,
Taipei.
Yeah, the same to you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm in Taoyuan, just down the road. Yeah, but yeah, Michael and I we work in Taipei. A lovely city.
I know.
Yeah.
I always watch your channel.
Oh, excellent.
Until now.
Oh, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
So Lynn, let's do a couple questions. I want to talk to everyone. Let's just do a couple questions. So, right. Let's talk. Let's if I go back up to that. Okay. So let's talk about global positioning systems, GPS. So,
GPS, okay.
do you like to use GPS?
Actually, I think I use GPS every day because I need to communicate to my work office. So I can use GPS to know the distance from home to my company. Yeah, so I think I use it every day.
Okay. When is GPS most useful?
You mean which part is useful for GPS, right?
Yeah. In what situation?
Situation. For example, I always use GPS to find some location. We can meet with my friend, or I have an interview to the new company, or such as education. I need to pick up somebody. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. What did you do before you had GPS?
What do you mean? It's I got a GPS. I need to do something.
So before it existed, before everybody had GPS, what did you do?
What you do? I think I almost ride my bike in Taipei. So if I got a GPS, I can know the way to my location. It's very convenient. Yeah, especially to the person you own a vehicle. Yeah.
Okay. And let's do one more question. Are there any drawbacks to using GPS?
I think a little bit inconvenient to use GPS in a rainy day, because when you got a GPS outside, I mean the outdoor, you use the GPS when you work in a rainy day. A little bit inconvenient because you need to wipe out your screen and check something, or in some condition like the shining day, because the sunshine is to shine to your phone, so you need to get inside. Maybe you can look very clear. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So when you were talking about the rainy day, I was thinking I've seen like the Food Panda and Uber Eats drivers with the little umbrella over the phone. Have you seen that? I think that. Oh, you've got it. Okay, it's useful, right? Okay. So I just want to go back to the question before. Okay, so I asked you, what did you do before you had GPS? So here, if we look at the grammar, right, it's past tense. So I'm asking you about the past, and you told me about sort of a habit. You ride your bicycle or your motorbike. So probably what you wanted to do here was say, okay, when I was younger, GPS didn't exist. I don't know if it's true, and people would use a map. So we're talking about habits in the past. So really listen to the question, because the questions are designed for you to use certain grammar. That's one of the reasons why we have these types of questions. So that's a tip. Yeah. So overall, I think you're giving good examples, and you're doing quite well to explain what you're saying. I liked how you used to commute. That was good use of that. Another phrase you can talk about for the first question. So, do you like to use GPS? No, actually, it was when is GPS most useful? This was the question. You could use the phrase to make a journey. So, journey, Journey. A journey is traveling from one place to another place. So, when you're commuting, you're making a journey. This could be another phrase. Just watch out for prepositions. So you said GPS is useful when you when you have an interview to a company. So we would say at a company, an interview at a company. So concentrate on your prepositions. I believe that in Chinese, in Mandarin, you don't have prepositions. It's the same with you don't have like he, she, those pronouns, which makes it very confusing when I talk to my wife. I never know. Are you talking about a man or a woman? I don't know. Okay. So basically, if things don't exist in your language that exist in English, you need to concentrate on those things because they will not naturally come to you. People that speak European languages, we share a lot of similar things in English. Not everything, but similar things. So they don't make those mistakes. They make other mistakes. Also, in Chinese, you don't have the th sound. So so think, th, and the. So this is something you need to concentrate on. You're more likely to say s or l. Again, I mentioned this to someone early on tonight. You can go on YouTube and you can find videos that help you teach yourself to make this sound. It's mechanical. You're just teaching your muscles to move in a certain way, and to make the sound, you just put your tongue between your teeth and blow. So let's have a practice. So we have the word think. So try and be rude, stick your tongue out, and I want you to repeat. So think. Think. So try not to, if you keep your tongue inside, you'll say think. It'll become a f. If you stick your tongue out, it'll become a think. Try again.
Think.
It's getting better, yeah. If you practice that, get a long list of words, they, them, think, thought, and you practice it in the morning, and if your face starts hurting, you're doing the right thing. So you can teach yourself this in a few weeks if you do it every day, and you'll start because that sound is everywhere. Those two sounds are everywhere in English. Okay, so we were talking about drawbacks, and you spoke about rain and then shine. So I would say when it is sunny outside, when it is bright, BRIGHT, you get glare, GLARE. Glare is from the sun, and you can't see things. So that would have been a good use of a word there. Okay. So what I'll do, because we've got lots of people waiting, so I will say goodbye for today, but join us again, Lynn. Come and speak to me again next Friday. We'll try and do it for a little bit longer. Okay.
So how about my school? You think?
So it's really hard to give a score just from a few questions. But you would probably be somewhere just based on that sort of 5 to 6, closer to a 6 maybe. It's in terms of, I can understand what you're saying, but you need to sort of expand on your answers a little bit perhaps. But come back come back and let's do a longer one next time.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to give you a better answer. Like
Thank you.
when they give the exam, it's the full exam, so it's really hard for me to say just from a few questions. But thanks anyway, and I'll talk to you again. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Very useful.
Yeah.
See you.
Yeah. Stay safe, Lynn. See you later. Bye.
See you.
Okay. So I'm gonna grab a couple more people. Let's do another sort of 10 minutes or so. Okay, so let's see. And if I don't get to speak to you today, make sure you come next time, and I'll try and get to speak to more people next time. I might be able to come up with a better system. Okay, so we should have Chris.
Hello, sir.
Hi. So, Chris, is that your first name? Hello?
Actually, first time to do the mock test.
Oh, it's your first time to do a mock test. And your name is Chris? Is that
Yes.
right? Yeah. Okay. And
Yes,
which country are you calling from?
from Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Okay. Right. So, Chris, what we will do is we'll do a few questions just to give you a bit of an experience. And in the future, you can always come back and we can do some more. But let's just work on a few questions together. Okay. So, right, get my paper ready. So let's talk about solar panels. Do people use solar panels in your country?
Honestly speaking, I don't have any idea about solar panels, but in my mind, I think it is somehow connected to the electricity, or it is the one that most of the people put it on top of their roof, so that's the sun rays of the sun will give some electricity for that house specifically, so they can save their electricity.
Okay. So in which ways are solar panels useful?
That's what I've said. I think it is more useful when it comes to electricity, because that's, I think, the most advantage of it. And for instance, in the Philippines, based on my observation, I can see that a lot of people now are buying this kind of solar panels, and I think it costs a little bit too much.
Okay. Are there any drawbacks to using solar panels?
For me, I don't have any idea, but I guess I can't see any drawback or negative side effects or disadvantage of this using solar panels, because aside from it gives us, or it saves us money from paying our electricity bills, it is also conducive for us, because we can use it whenever there is an emergency or there is a locally brownout.
Okay. Is solar power better for the consumer or household?
I think so, because nowadays, because of the innovation of our technology, it is the reason why some of the people are invent this one, and this is for the better of the household, or for the better for the using the electricity.
Okay. Does your government promote the use of solar panels?
As far as I remember, I don't think our local authorities are encouraging our citizen or their citizen to use this kind of thing, because I don't see any advertisement or any announcement coming from our government that they encourage this kind of things. But they are not discourage other people to use this one because it is an individual preference.
Okay. And how will the use of solar panels change in the future?
Well, I think it would be more affordable, because nowadays I think it is expensive and not all of the people can afford to buy this one and to put this on top of their roof. But in the future, I hope that it will be somehow be customized or modified so that the ordinary people can afford it.
Okay. So let me ask you this. Whose responsibility is it to make the move towards green energy? Governments or the individual?
In my opinion, I guess both parties. It's like it takes two to tango. So if the government is having this kind of project, or this kind of project for the betterment of their country, I guess it is part of the individual to help that local authorities to improve or to achieve their goals in their country.
So we both know that generally individuals aren't very forthcoming for these kind of things. So what kind of incentives can local authorities give to get people on side with these projects?
Well, I think by giving them some money, for instance, because nowadays we know that many people lost their jobs and they need money. But aside from that, I guess it is a recognition, because not all of the people could consider this one as an award. But for those who are considering this one, I guess it is an achievement for them to give some recognition from the local authorities.
Okay, excellent. Okay, good. So, overall, I think you're explaining yourself very well, and you're giving good supporting sentences for your main ideas. I like the way that you're kind of sidestepping a lot of these. You know, you may not be an expert about solar panels, but you're just talking about what you know. That was really good. Just make sure you focus on the question. So I asked you, do people use solar panels in your country? Make sure that you begin by focusing on your country, and then, as you did, you can kind of explain generally what solar panels are and what they do. What you did for that question was really just give me a definition, and you never really gave a specific example. So it's just really, if you listen to the question and give a direct answer to the question, that's really going to help with the fluency and coherence part of it. I'm getting tired, sorry. So that would be something. And the other thing is, for example, you said, you meant, so I cannot see, I heard I can't see, but I didn't hear the negative part of it. I heard I can see. So just practice those unstressed sounds in English, just so you're maybe giving a little bit more stress on them than normal, just so I can hear it, because I can't see became I can see, and that changes the meaning. Okay, so little things like that. What else? Generally, I liked the kind of vocabulary you were giving me. Local authorities, more affordable, discourage, takes two to tango, great idiom. So all very good. But you used the word conducive, but I'm not sure if you used it quite in the same way, quite in the right way, sorry. So when you're using words that you think you know what they mean, you think you're using it, try paraphrasing. So, you know, solar panels are conducive to our lives. You know, they make things easier and they fit well with our lifestyles. So you're kind of paraphrasing what it means, because the examiner will always assume that you do not know what the word means until you tell them that you do know what it means. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So you were also talking about money at the end. You know, I asked you in a very complex way, which you answered perfectly, what incentives can we give? And you mentioned money. So perhaps you could have used the phrase tax rebate, tax reduction, subsidize,
Okay, so.
to subsidize. So these are the kind of the words you could have used that would have really fit with that. But yeah, overall, I think you did very well. Just from listening there, I would say band 7 to 8, probably 8, maybe even a little bit more. Very good. You know, a few things
Thank
here
you,
and there
sir.
to work on. But again, I only asked you a few questions, so don't take that. You know, you can't take that to the bank. But a very good,
Yes, I know.
a very good performance nonetheless. So, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
So make sure come back and talk to us again where we have a bit more time. But I'm going to grab just one more person. So I'll say goodbye, Chris. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, sir.
Well done.
You too.
Bye-bye. And okay, I'm going to make this the last person because I have been doing this for nearly 2.5 hours, and I'm not going to be as useful as I was at the beginning, but there's one person who's been waiting the longest. So if Jackie is still there, we'll have Jackie, and that will be the last person, and I will try and talk to everyone next time. So Jackie, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey. So which country are you calling from today?
Well, I'm from Uzbekistan.
Oh, okay.
Jackie is my nickname. My full name is Sardar Fazboyev.
Oh, okay. I might call you Jackie. I might be able to pronounce that better.
Okay.
Okay. So
Thank you.
right. I'm going to ask you a few questions just as a practice, and let's go through, do a few questions. Let's do this. Okay, so Jackie, let's talk about computers. How much time do you spend using a computer at work or at home?
Okay, well, I use computers just frequently when I go to my academy, or just when I meet my friends to play games. That time I use computers.
Okay. What do you mainly use a computer for?
Frankly speaking, I'm keen on playing games, just arcade games. It helps to me improve my adrenaline. And that time, that computers such as laptops helps me to be on my mood.
Did you learn how to use a computer at school?
Well, if my memory serves me well, I use it to use computers when my teacher taught me just to with uh, with its caches, how to use it, and in which desire we should use it.
Okay. Have you ever taken a course to improve your computer skills?
Well, just if I remember, just 2 years ago, I had 3 months courses on computers, but nothing I learned there. As I said, I would love play games, and there I continued this my habit.
Okay. Has the internet made your job or studies easier?
Yes, definitely, because it helps us with every topics in our life. In every situations, it will be beneficial to solve our problem or to find anything we want. As a student, I often use this cutting edge technologies, and it helps me to get on my destiny soon.
Which device do you prefer to use when browsing the internet?
Well, actually, I prefer laptops because there are more functions in this device. Because we can find or do something a lot, and there are more functions, and also the a great deal of gigabytes there.
Okay. So I'll tell you what, Jackie. Let's stop there, just because, to be honest with you, I'm a little bit tired, and I want to remember everything we spoke about. But
yes, I see.
You'll come back and you'll talk to us again. What I like is you've got some good vocabulary that you're using here and there. So, for example, I heard cutting edge technology. That is an excellent phrase, good collocation. You also have some great sort of starting sentences. Frankly speaking, I'm keen on this, if my memory serves me well. And I think what happens after that is you're struggling to link your ideas well together. Yeah. So some questions,
yes,
you really feel confident with, and some others you're kind of struggling. So what could be useful for you is learning a basic structure to how you answer questions. So what you want to do is always start by answering the question directly. So for example, I asked you, how much time do you spend using a computer at work or at home? So my answer would be, well, I probably spend about half my day on the computer. So that's my direct answer. And then what I'm going to do is explain, expand, and maybe give details. Maybe one or two of those. So I would say, so for me, I spend about half of my time on the computer. This is because my job means that I have to answer lots of emails. And then I give an example, perhaps. So for example, in the morning, I spend about an hour going through my inbox. And that's all you got to do. Main answer, supporting details. So remember, your answers don't have to be interesting. They just have to be well connected. If you can link ideas and develop ideas, even if it's not a very interesting idea, you can get a great score. Yeah. And from listening to you, I think you've got the potential. The only thing holding you back is just those structures. And I'm pretty sure we did a video about this. Let me see if I can find... There's something called sentence frames. Let's see if I find the right video. See, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Okay, so Michael kind of talks about this. Mainly we talk about this in writing. But what a sentence frame is a sentence which is a high level sentence that you know the structure and you know how to change little words here and there, and you're able to use this in order to trick the examiner almost, because if you have a couple of high level sentences here and there, they're going to say, oh, this student is maybe a bit higher than I think. But it also helps you to structure what you want to say. And so if you go on our channel, to be honest, we talk about this more for writing, but it works perfectly fine for speaking. So we're not saying memorize answers, we're saying memorize structures, sentences that you know how to change for different situations. Yeah. So that's what I would say. And just here and there, there's perhaps a few collocations, so words that naturally go together that in this case don't. So you were talking about the question was, what do you mainly use a computer for? And you mentioned playing games, and you said to improve my adrenaline. So your adrenaline, this is a hormone in your body that when you're in a scary situation, or it gets your heart pumping. I'm not sure if you use a computer game to do that. You might say, I'm an adrenaline junkie and I love to play scary games. That might fix. Or I think you were talking about your mood. So this improves my mood. It helps me relax. It helps me to unwind, to get away from it. Yes. So phrases like this might be a better choice, yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said, what you need to focus on is structuring your answers.
Structure.
Yeah, you've got some good vocabulary coming out. Generally, I think you know what the question's about, and I think it's just the structure. Sometimes you just lost me a little bit because I couldn't see where your ideas were connecting, but structure will fix that very quickly. Do you have any questions at all, Jackie?
No, it was very useful for me, and your beneficial advice for me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So, I mean,
I tend to attend all your lectures, online lectures.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks for watching. Yeah. So, in terms of a score, I can't give you a definite score, but I would say probably it's around a 6. At the moment, around a 6, I would say. But you could change that quickly by focusing on a few things like that. I can hear the potential. It's just the structure.
Next month I pass this IELTS exam.
Okay. We'll make sure come back and join us a little bit earlier next week. We'll try and give you some more practice. But yeah, and Jackie, if you want, you can send us an email with one of your essays, corrections@theieltsgrind.com. You should be able to find this in the description. Is it here? I'll put it in the chat. Send us one of your essays and we'll make sure that we give you some corrections before your exam. So corrections at the IELTSgrind.com. If you want to send us a task 1, a task 2, and we'll try and do some corrections before your exam next month. Give you some tips, okay?
Okay.
Cool. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
You know, you're more than welcome, and yeah, speak to you maybe another time. Okay. See you later. Have a good day. Bye. Okay. So I have to be honest with you guys. I am, as we say in London, knackered. Which means I'm very tired. But I do enjoy talking to everyone. Where are we? So if I didn't talk to you guys today, I do apologise. Try and join us next time. If I can think of a better system, I will think of it. But yeah, this is the best we've got at the moment. Hopefully you picked up a few tips. So don't forget, here at the IELTS Grind, we are going live every day for the next, until August at least. Tomorrow, you've got another chance to do some speaking. Michael will be back at 5 p.m. This is Taiwan time. And we're going to do some group speaking classes. It will be less formal than today. Today was about mock speaking tests. Tomorrow, just some help with speaking, get you working on your fluency. And then on Sunday, we're going to stream a full exam. Listening, writing, reading and speaking. You can test yourselves taking a test all at once, because this is something you need to practice. It's tough. Look at me. I'm a native speaker. I'm only been speaking for 2.5 hours and I'm tired. So you've got to practice doing it in real time. And then next week, we've got a new topic, environment. Okay, so thank you everyone that joined me today. Thank you for all you brave people speaking to me live, and have a great weekend. Hopefully see you guys on Saturday and on Sunday. Okay, I am out of here. See you later.